Well, hello, you amazing, beautiful people. This is Melinda Balling. Thank you so much for calling our Quantum Leap hotline this weekend. Well, today I want to visit with you about a word that's been misunderstood for far too long. What is that word? It's discipline. Well, let's face it, for many, discipline feels rigid, restrictive, even a little harsh. I can relate to that. It can sound like something we have to do rather than something we get to choose. But what if we've been looking at it all wrong? Well, I had, and when I changed my mind about discipline, my life began to change, for the better, I might add. So, what if we thought of discipline as actually one of the most loving gifts we can give ourselves? Because discipline is not about punishment, it's about alignment. It's choosing what we want most over what we want in the moment. And that's where the joy begins. You see, without discipline, we live by default. We follow feelings, moods, and habits that may or may not be serving us. But with discipline, well, it's kind of like we begin to live by design. We begin to show up where we said we would. We follow through on the small things. We keep promises to ourselves. Let's face it, sometimes we've been better at keeping promises to others and breaking those promises to ourselves. But every time we keep promises to ourselves, we build something powerful, self-trust. And self-trust, my friends, will change everything. Because when you trust yourself, you move differently. You show up with confidence, you take action with intention, and in business, especially in our Mary Kay business, those small disciplined actions, well, they add up in the most beautiful ways. It's the follow-up text we send even when we don't feel like it. It's the booking conversation that we initiate even when it feels a little uncomfortable, sometimes a lot uncomfortable. You know, when I find myself hesitating, I say, be bold, and it really works. Well, it's also showing up for our customers, our team, and most importantly for ourselves consistently. And over time, those simple discipline choices turn into appointments booked, faces touched, lives impacted, and confidence built, both ours and theirs. And yes, the rewards come too. The extra income, the recognition, the prizes, the sparkle, and for me, last week, another pink Cadillac moment. But here's what's so important to remember. Those rewards are not the result of pressure. They are the result of consistent action. Discipline is what takes a dream and gives it a pathway to become real. It's not flashy, that's for sure. It's not always exciting in the moment, but it is powerful. Because discipline is the bridge between our intentions and our results. Let me say that again. It is the bridge between our intention and our results. And here's the beautiful shift. At first, discipline can feel like effort, like we're stretching into something new. Pardon me. But over time, it becomes part of who we are. We don't have to push because we've become the person who shows up. And that's when it transforms into freedom. Freedom from inconsistency, freedom from procrastination, freedom from starting and stopping, freedom from wondering, why isn't this working? Instead, we begin to trust the process. And even more importantly, we trust ourselves. So today, I want to invite you to see and think of discipline differently, not as something that restricts you, but as something that supports you. Not as something harsh, but as something loving. Because discipline when rooted in self-worth, really, it is devotion. It's a devotion to our dreams, our growth, and to the life that we're creating, one intentional choice at a time. And, my friends, when you look back, you'll realize it wasn't the big moments that changed everything. It was the small, consistent, disciplined steps that created a life filled with joy, freedom, and possibility. So remember, as always, you have the power to choose again today. One small action at a time, you and I are building something extraordinary. Well, my affirmation for you today is, my daily discipline is an act of love for my future. Again, my daily discipline is an act of love for my future. Once more, my daily discipline is an act of love for my future. And speaking of discipline, I have to say, I am disciplined enough to show up today and do this recording, even though I still am getting over this respiratory interruption in my life, and my voice is pretty squeaky. And you are disciplined for calling in and listening to the end. So God bless you for that. And have a beautiful and wonderful weekend. Until next time, be happy and embrace the discipline that makes a difference in your life. Goodbye for now.